Your auto insurance can cause you to lose your home. I'll explain how next in a minute with Marty, so stay tuned. We love the freedom our cars bring. Going on vacation, a trip to the mall, not really, on a road trip with our loved ones. Our automobiles give us a great deal of freedom. With that freedom, though, comes the responsibility to protect our financial assets. With this freedom, we also can face serious financial liability in cases involving the destruction of property and bodily injuries. Your liability insurance will not be enough to protect your assets, including your home, if your policy limits are inadequate. This is more than losing your home, it's losing all your assets. And let's take, for an example, South Carolina. Every driver in South Carolina with auto insurance must carry the required minimums on all registered vehicles. In the state, there are three particular liabilities in this and categories. $25,000 for bodily injury. You have $50,000 for bodily injury total per accident. And then you have a $25,000 for property damage. Bodily injury liability protects you against the claims of other people who are injured in an accident that you're at fault. South Carolina requires you to carry a minimum of $25,000 per person for bodily injury and $50,000, like I mentioned earlier, for all those persons involved in that one accident. Claims for bodily injury can include medical expenses, lost wages, and pain and suffering. Property damage liability insurance pays for any damage you cause to the property of others. This not only includes damages to other vehicles, but also of other property that you may damage, which could be buildings, walls, fences, equipment. The minimum limit in South Carolina is $25,000 for all property damage in one accident. Now, let's go back to those limits again. Remember, you have $25,000 in bodily injury, $50,000 in bodily injury total for the whole entire accident, and then you have $25,000 of property damage coverage. So let's use this example, and this is not far-fetched. Let's say you cause an accident and the accident involves a truck, one of those nice $70,000 trucks, and it's pulling a really nice $50,000 camper. Well, that's $120,000 of liability. You cause an accident, it goes off down the gully, it totally damages and totals the truck and also the camper. So remember, that's a $120,000 piece of property. You had a $25,000 property damage on your policy because you took the minimum. So that puts you in a hole of $95,000. And probably since that truck was pulling a camper, you may have a family of four in that truck. So let's just assume that it was a bad accident and all four went to the hospital. And let's make another assumption. That family of four did not have health insurance. So when they went to the hospital, they went to the hospital for a week. And just conservatively, let's say that hospital bill for all four was about $200,000. Well, remember, your total bodily injury is capped at $50,000 per accident. Now you are an additional $150,000 in the hole. So this accident has you in the hole $245,000. Did you like your house? That's the question. So when you look at coverage, you should get limits that match the value of your assets, or at least the highest limits that you can afford. That's because if your car insurance isn't enough to pay for those damages that you cause, the other driver may take you to court, may sue you for the remainder of what they need. And if the judge rules in their favor, your assets will have to be liquidated to pay for those court damages. So something for you really to think about. Another thing too is a lot of people get themselves in trouble when buying into those commercials that say we can save you $400 if you take our insurance. Make sure that when you look at something like that, the rates that they are quoting are not the minimums of that state. People don't think about those things. We can never be a master of all things. And that's why it's important to have a local, knowledgeable insurance advisor that will put a plan together for you to help protect your financial assets. Just because something online looks good and looks like a good deal doesn't mean that it is. And so hopefully that was beneficial to you. This was just a brief introduction into some auto insurance topics. So make sure you watch our other videos listed on YouTube or visit our learning hub at hfcbenefits.com on everything insurance. Again, hope this was beneficial to you today because this was A Minute with Marty. You take care.